What's happening, guys? Cap over here, and welcome to week 4 of the WPE, the WPE League. Today we're taking on Masaroshi and his Aston Villampharos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, but anywho, be sure to smash that like button, sub to the channel, and we've got quite the spicy battle over here as we're taking on Masaroshi and his fire squad. He actually went balls deep on this one. This is a pretty cool battle. I'll go over the team that I brought in today. We brought in just a Flores to take on Suicune and the Rotom. Any variant pretty much takes on that. Pretty much takes it on. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. We've got the Keldeo because if he is set up Suicune, we can still set up in front of it and really put in a lot of work. If he's Roar, then he's not set up Suicune, and we get some good information. Metagross is just busted as ever. Shaman is something that's good in this battle. Seed Flare, Hidden Power, Fire, and Air Slash is enough coverage for me to take down a lot of things on his team. Statland is a defensive variant like we brought in last week. This thing is actually pretty fun. It actually puts in a decent amount of work and it actually absorbs a lot of physical hits pretty well. And it's my only way of really taking on a physically offensive Donphan. Donphan actually puts in a lot of work against my team. And it's one of the main reasons why it sparked up a little trade or a little FA dropping on my team. Just taking a look at the damage that it could do to my whole team and whatnot. Then we've got our special attacking Salamence, who is our Scarfer, because most likely Master Roshi is going to be bringing in some sort of weird Scarf Pokemon. And I watched a couple of his battles, or I watched a couple people battle against him, and he tends to bring some odd things, so I was sort of expecting something weird to be Scarfed. And in this battle I was like, oh, Rotom could be Scarfed, well, Donphan could be Scarfed because he did that last week, and or Buzzwole, he does have a Buzzwole too, so that could be potentially Scarfed. So let's get this battle on its way. I decided, you know what, Flores is the best mod, because if I were battling against me, I would lead up with Rotom, and that actually sort of makes sense in my side. If he has anything else, then if he leads up with Conk, I can go for Moonblast and simply absorb a hit from it. I know I can live one Poison Jab, and I want to just get damage on Conk. But he ends up leading up with Rotom, and I'm like, sweet. Good prediction on my end. Turn 1 is looking fantastic, but I don't really have anything for this incoming Ferrothorn, because you know, as obvious it is when you're prepping, I was like, it's fine, and spikes are going to be a huge problem to my team. It was something that I was fully aware of, but I was just like, you know what, I don't think it's going to be that big, because, well, just because I feel like my team could sort of wear his team down quicker than the spikes can wear down my team. So this is a free opportunity for him to set out spikes, and that's pretty scary right there, just pretty frightening. Pretty frightening. So I'm just going to go right into Boop. If he goes for T-Wave, Leech Seed, or Gyro Ball, then that's so be it. That's totally fine. He ends up going for Spikes, the proper play over here, and I can sort of make a prediction or just go for the safe play. At this moment, I'm playing safe. I want to see what sort of Ferrothorn this is, and that's pretty much what I really want to do. So Rotom comes out, and I'm like, sweet, this is perfect, because I can see if he's Choice Scarfed or what he is exactly, and he's lefty, so this tells me it's some sort of variant of a defensive Rotom, which is fine by me. That's something that is fantastic. I'm really failing to put damage on this team, which is something that is, oh, it's sucky, but hey, what can you do? He's gonna go for the Volt Switch, a nice safe play over here, and that allows him to pivot right back onto Ferrothorn if he wants, or lets him go into this Donphan, which at this point I don't know what it is. If it's Choice Bandit, that is frightening, because that puts in so much work against my team. So I have to make a safe play over here, go into Woofers, and absorb this incoming hit. I know I can take it for sure. This is primarily one of the big reasons why Woofers is here, just to absorb these hits. And Woofers actually does a pretty good job. Good job, buddy. Good job. Good doggy. Taking on that hit. Nice and delicious. Could ask for another one. Pretty much, right? Pretty much. So I'm just going to go into a little chaos, predicting a switch out over here. And that's pretty much what I really just want to do. There was no point of me going for anything else. I figured I figured he's just going to switch into Ferrothorn, but he actually goes into Suicune. I do have Toxic on Woofers, and if I'd made a prediction, then that would have been absolutely wonderful. But alas, didn't make that prediction, and this actually allows me to go right into my Pony, my Keldeo, to just apply some pressure on this team now, because at this moment this is what we sort of drew up on the board. I cannot allow Keldeo to have a sub or sit behind a sub, and I can actually set up all over this mon, which is, like I said before, it is fantastic. I can simply just go for a Moon, or not a Moonblast. I can go for a Hydro Pump or Secret Sword. Secret Sword will 100% KO it. He can be at plus 500, and Sacred Sword will actually take it down, which is, I know plus 500 is not a really good example of what Keldeo can do, but hey, we're playing some Theorymon over here. When we can go at plus 500, you do it. You do it when you can. So as you can tell over here, this is sort of a losing battle for Suicune. Keldeo can actually just go at plus whatever, and we're fine. We're absolutely fine with this. So my end game over here is just to finish off with a sub. Just because if I'm behind a sub, this allows me to take on Donphan, it allows me to take on Rotom, it allows me to take on Ferrothorn, Conkeldurr, and it allows me to hit 2-hit KO the Clefable, which is something that, you know, ultimately that I want to do. If I can just finish off those mons with Keldeo, then so be it. And at this moment, I'm just like, oh man, if I get behind a sub, I think it's GG, because nothing on his team really outspeeds me, and that's gonna be pretty good for me, because, you know, yeah. So I sort of make a misplay over here, but I figured that, you know what, if I do get burned, it's whatever, it's fine. Pretty much it's looking like it's going my way again, and substitute Keldeo with our sub Calm Mind Keldeo could potentially just finish off this game right over here. It's looking like that. I'm gonna go for a Sacred Sword, predicting his substitute. I do get a crit over here, which is pretty big, because this doesn't allow him to go for a I guess a sub at this moment, and all I have to do is just go right into pretty much this is all I have to do, just click substitute and I'm good. So that's why I figured the burn wasn't that big. It sort of negates my lefties, but hey, what can you do, right? What can you do? So I'm looking pretty fine over here. I'm pretty happy, and this is where I should have just gone for a sub and not have gone burned, because I would have been recovering so much damage. It takes him 2 hits, potentially 3 hits to break this substitute if I keep on Calm Minding. And that's, at this moment, I'm just like +2 again, looking pretty fine. I can take out a couple mons on his side, and well, it looks like we're just, you know, rolling with the same team again, looking pretty fine. So +2 Keldeo is on the field, and I'm like, he has nothing for +2 Keldeo. Even Clefable, even if it's unaware, we still do a lot of damage to it, and we still would outspeed it too. So everything on his team is pretty much 1-hit KO'd. Donphan is the only thing that really looks like it could potentially save his mons, but he'd have to sack something in order for Keldeo to like fall down or force a switch out. So I'm pretty happy where we're at. I'm pretty happy. So he actually is gonna withdraw. I decided to go for a substitute, and this is what I wanted. This is absolutely 100%. I'm pretty happy with what's going on, and I'm like, all right, behind a sub, take it on Clefable. Pretty much the thing is going to be going down. It's actually going to be going down. So at this moment, I can actually just click Hydro Pump, knock this thing out. We gotta see if it's unaware or Magic Art. And this thing actually goes first. This is a Scarf Clefable. Now take a moment to think about that. Scarf Clefable hits the field, and I'm like, dang, this doesn't allow Keldeo to sweep. So I'm forced to switch out because Keldeo is the mon to actually take down everything on his team. So I need to keep it healthy. This is where I was saying getting myself burnt was such a big mistake, because I'm in the yellow. I'm forced to withdraw too. He makes a really solid prediction and goes into his Rotom Heat. there was no way I was staying in. There was absolutely no way I was staying in. So he actually gets a really good opportunity over here just to go for either Volt Switch or Overheat, keep the momentum on his side, and I have no way of really stopping that. So I'm put on a precarious situation, and Rotom is just putting on a lot of pressure. So I'm just gonna go right into a little chaos, hoping that he stays and goes for Overheat, and hopes that I overpredict and actually stay in. So he ends up going for the Overheat, which is fantastic. A little chaos sort of takes it, not well, but I decide, you know what, now I can go for a Hydro Pump. Scarf Hydro Pump is going to be coming through. I'm like, yes, this is fantastic. We don't take it down. It wasn't even a roll, and this is looking pretty good. We're looking absolutely fantastic, because Rotom was the biggest annoyance to my team, and now I can actually just go for a Meteor Mash or a Zen Headbutt and actually finish off a lot of things on his team. The only thing that really remains is having Ferrothorn weakened for, you know, Kelly to come in, finish it off, or something like that. That's pretty much our end game. If we can keep Metagross around for a relatively long time, then we're looking pretty fine. But he ends up going for the Volt Switch. Good play on his part. I figured he would actually try to hard switch into something else like a like his Clefable, but he makes a good play over here. And I decide, I gotta switch out. My Metagross still puts in a lot of work, and I go right into Boop. So this is a huge part of the match, because Boop has a big role in this battle. It's my only way of really taking on Donphan, and I see the damage over there, so I'm like, this thing's probably Scarf 2, double Scarfers or something. Go for Seed Flare, miss it, and he hits his Gunk Shot. Ooh. Boop, he did not take that well at all. So now he can go for an Ice Shard, and I was I was a bit tilted after this, like, not gonna lie. Missing the Seed Flare puts on a lot of pressure on the rest of my mons, and I'm like, dang, that sucks, because now I don't have a mon to really take on the Donphan. Yeah, like, either way, Boop was gonna be at red, but the big thing over here was that now this doesn't allow Mega Metagross to actually do what I wanted to do. Everything on this team is pretty weak to Mega Metagross, even the Suicune. The only thing that really saves him from that is Clefable, at which point it's 1-for-1. And I'm looking pretty bad over here. So I'm like, alright, now I just gotta hit the Hydro Pump. That's my only play, really. I decided to just make a safe play, go for Draco Meteor, drop a Draco on this Rotom, and yeah, just wanted to drop something on a Rotom. So now I'm looking pretty, like, I don't know what to do over here, because now Clefable comes in, and I'm like, could he have Flamethrower, or does he have Moonblast? He doesn't know what sort of item I have right now, so I decide to switch out. Trying to bluff my Scarf on this thing, and I just go into Mod over here, trying to see what he would do, but he ends up going for the Moonblast, and I'm like, oh dang. And we're in the red, so this means Mod is just pretty much Death Fodder. So he actually makes a switch out over here, goes into his Ferrothorn, and I'm like, wait, what? I could have Stinsed this up and really gotten a lot of HP back. And, you know, ultimately I should have done that, but he made the better play, went into Ferrothorn, and I'm like, oh, well. So, now I don't KO this Ferrothorn from this range. If I'd gotten some damage on this thing, then maybe I could have gone for a Hammer Arm and simply done a lot of damage, but I actually don't take it down. I do have the Hammer Arm to, you know, get some super effective damage, and, as you can tell, we do a lot of damage. I drop speed, which means Gyro Ball should be doing a lot less. But, would you have guessed it? He's gonna go for a Gyro Ball and get a crit over here, which is really unlucky, because that should have done a lot less. That should have done a lot less. So now Spike's put me in range where, oh, I don't know if I get KO'd by it, but I gotta go for the Grass Knot, predicting his Donphan. And because if I go for Hammer Arm, then I still get withered down from the attack, and yeah, so we lose Mega Metagross. Horrible play on my part. It really went downhill after that Sea Flare miss, and then I was forced to make plays that I didn't really have to make. So at this point, I'm just like, alright, Keldew's gotta come out. Hopefully he can sort of bring back the game, but we don't have a lot of turns of switching thanks to the spikes, and kudos to him for bringing spikes. Spikes was something that I was really looking into, and it was something that really hurt my team a lot. Because that was something that I was really aware of, that whenever Ferrothorn comes in, I had to be sure that I could not allow it to set up spikes. And now this thing comes back on, and I'm like, why? This mod is a pain right now because I'm forced to sack off mod. And this is where the gutsy play, where he actually switched out his Clefable, really paid off, because this doesn't allow mod to be a specially defensive mon anymore, and I'm forced to sack it off. So at this moment I have to go right into a little chaos. No way am I making a prediction going for Air Cutter, but I have to go for the Hydro Pump. Even though you could go into Suicune, I have to go for Hydro Pump. And I'm like, alright, Hydro Pump, I think I can connect a couple of these, hopefully. Not gonna click Dracometer, because that is just ballsy of me to do, absolutely ballsy. So pretty much we're in a tough position, and I think it's pretty much GG at this point, because I don't have anything to really take down the Conch, and unfortunately we missed a Hydro Pump, and I'm like, dang, that sucks. That really sucks. I don't have anything to really take down the Suicune, because thanks to spikes and whatever damage I get from this, then I pretty much just lose it. And it's not looking pretty hot. And we missed 2 Hydro Pumps, which is just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think ultimately it changes the differential if we hit 2 to like a 3-0, potentially like a 2-0 if he misplays, but he's been playing pretty ballsy. And now I'm forced to go right into Keldeo, and as you can tell over here, we are not going to pick up a KO. Once again, a lot of things are catching up to me in at this point of the match. As you can tell, even the missing the Hydro Pumps, like I said, if we gotten rid of this mon, then maybe we could have changed the differential, maybe we could have, but it's something that's really affecting us. And even the burn, because I feel like if I hadn't gone burnt, then I would have been a bit more HP, and I could have potentially set up another Calm Mind against the Suicune and really picked up the game once again. So as much as it sucked for missing the Seed Flare and missing the Hydro Pumps and all that, I put myself in a bad position, because I misplayed the Keldeo at the start, and I was forced in a position where I didn't really have to force myself. So the hacks didn't really matter at all. The misses didn't really matter at all. It was just myself, you know, I put myself in that position, and you can take a lot from this battle. I learned a lot from my team, what it's weak against, and I'd much rather have this happen now than during the playoffs, if we do make the playoffs. So that's something that I've always was aware of, and even building for this team, I sort of realized a lot of things, a lot of flaws about my team. Even though in the past couple weeks we've gone like 2 6-0s and 1 5-0, losing 4-0, just one loss, and still having a really good spot in the standings, it allows me to do something that is very, like, we can take this and be like, man, that sucked, we lost, the undefeated season is over. But we can also take a lot from this battle. We learned a lot about our team, from what it doesn't do, what it's weak against, what are things that we have to prep for, and it allowed me to change some mons on my team. So as of effective week 6, I believe, I'm pretty sure it's week 6, we will be dropping the Roserade for Alolan Marowak, and we'll be dropping the Frostlass for the Weezing. Now, You're probably wondering why I dropped those mons for different reasons, because they're 2 hazard setters. They're mons that really put a lot to the team, and even the Frostlass put in a decent amount of work against one of the battlers that we battled. And that's because my team was very weak to a ground type. Things like Donphan, things like Conch Elder, things like Buzzwell, they're pretty weak too, just because of, you know, punches and whatnot, and Earthquake. And that was something that I sort of, you know, I took account for. I cannot bring Frostlass every battle. I cannot bring Roserade and Shaman every battle. It was always a competition between those 2 mons, and ultimately I figured Shaman does a bit of a better job than what I wanted to do than the Roserade. Roserade doesn't really have a good spot on this team just for multiple reasons, and I can bring in on a Weezing that is more specially defensive, has the levitate ability, and absorbs a lot more physical hits than the Roserade. While I can also bring in an Alolan Marowak that allows me to punch a lot of things on a lot of people's teams. So we don't have Ferrothorn doing its thing, we don't have Rotom doing its thing. I can bring in Alolan Marowak every time, and it has really good synergy with the other mons on my team. So it allows me to stop things like Rotom, it allows me to stop things like Magearna, it stops Volt Switching, and that was something that was very apparent when I was doing this battle. I was like, I don't have a lot of solid mons to absorb Volt Switching. I don't really have that ground type to do that. So yeah, this was a bit of a longer video. I hope you guys enjoy it. GG to Master Roshi. He brought in some cool things, and you know, we moved to 3-1. We're still in a solid position, and you know, we can only take it as a positive. Keep on learning from it, and it happens. It happens. So thanks for watching. Be sure to smash that like button, sub to the channel, support your Toronto SwaBlu Jays, as we're going to try to keep on pushing for playoffs, and hopefully we can switch the tide next week. But anywho, I'm going to get going, so have yourselves a good day. Peace.